Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Here I want to continue the book Becoming a Translator by Douglas Robinson and In Other Words by Mona Baker. And as you can see, the table of content for Becoming a Translator, I have professional pride, income, and enjoyment. And for the In Other Words, I have collocation, idioms, and fixed expression. So the first material is professional pride. Uh, Professional pride have 3 points. First is reliability. Reliability is largely a matter of meeting the user needs, like translating the text the user need translate in the way the user wants them translate by the user's deadline. The demands placed on the translator by the attempt to be reliable from the user point of view are sometimes impossible, sometimes disruptive to the translator private life, sometimes morally repugnant, often physically and mentally exhausting. Professional pride in reliability is the main reason we will spend hours hunting down a single term. And the second is involvement in the profession. This help us realize that translation user need as much as we need them, like they have the money we need and we have the skill they need. And we will sell those skills to them, not abjectly, submissively, fully on their terms, but from a position of professional confidence and strength. And the last is ethics. These have traditionally been defined very narrowly. It is unethical for the translator to distort the meaning of the source text. From the translator internal point of view, the ethics of translation are more complicated still. And second material is income. These have 3 points. First point is speed. This is enforced in a variety of unofficial ways, mostly through phone calls and visits from engineers, editors, boss, and other idiot people who want their job done instantly and can't understand why you haven't done it yet. Translators translating speed is controlled by a number of factors like typing speed, the level of text difficulty, familiarity with this sort of text, technological support, personal preference of style, and job stress, general mental style. And the second is project management. This is another effective way to increase your income is to create your own agency. Farm out some of your work to other freelancer and take a cut of the fee for project management, including interfacing with the client, editing, and desktop publishing. And the last is raising the status of the profession. This long-range goal is equally difficult to deal with in the textbook of this sort, but it should not be forgotten in discussion of enhancing the translator income. One of the desired outcomes of the work done by translator association and unions, translator training programs and translation scholars to raise the general awareness of translation and its importance to society is in fact to raise translator income. And the last material from becoming a translator book is enjoyment. So pleasure in the work will motivate a mediocre of translator to enhance her or his reliability and speed. Boredom or distress in the work will make even highly competent translators sloppy and unreliable. And then we move to the next book, In Other Words by Mona Baker. So, first material is collocation. So, first is definition of collocation. So, collocation are combination of words that are often used together and sound natural to native speakers. Collocation can involve different parts of speech, such as verbs, nouns, adjectives, and adverbs. And idioms. So, an idiom is a phrase or expression that has a figurative meaning that is different from the literal meaning of the words. Idioms are a type formalistic language that are common in all language. So, the characteristics of idioms. Idioms are similar to private jokes between people who know them. Idioms are culturally specific, and idioms can vary in difficult, with some being more transparent and commonly used, while others are more challenging and less frequently encountered. And the last material is fixed expressions. So, fixed expressions are phrases that are made up of specific words that are always used together to convey a particular meaning. The words in fixed expressions cannot be changed or replaced by synonymous terms. Examples of fixed expression in fact or as a matter of fact, in spite of. To whom it may concern, and don't teach your grandmother to suck eggs. And characteristic of fixed expression is fixed expression are usually fixed and not flexible in patterning. They are generally transparent in meaning, unlike idioms. They express things in a standard way and are easier to understand. They are phrases that are said so that you cannot change the wording even if the literal meaning would stay the same. Fixed expression can be used in functional language, which is language that you need in different day-to-day situations. For example, greeting, introducing yourself, asking for or giving advice, explaining rules, apologizing, or agreeing and disagreeing. I think that's my explanation about book becoming a translator and in other words. Uh, Thank you to your attention and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.